The BAFTA Rocliffe New Writing Forum is an evening event where we showcase 3 10-minute script extracts from new writing talent. They are acted out live on stage with professional actors, and a very high-profile industry chair sits on stage and gives feedback to the writers.
Interior, basement, 1940s Chicago, night.
Rocliffe's very useful as a platform for new writing. There's not many platforms for new writing that are anything like this, you know, where you can get actors in a room, you can get a director to work on scenes, and you can see them come to life.
It's a great way for writers to get out there and meet people, so they're not working in isolation.
You have a fantastic industry guest that comes along, and someone who's a seasoned film person who can give you amazing feedback right there and then.
This event is not a competition, it's a workshop. It's a development workout of your script, and it's an opportunity to network.
It's really useful for new writers, and a really useful way of getting people to be aware of your writing.
It helped my confidence, but also just sort of fundamentally getting me an agent really changed my career. It started my career.
Saying that your work has been performed at BAFTA in front of a BAFTA audience is amazing for any writer.
It's a really fun event, and it's one of the highlights in the BAFTA Learning and Events programme.
It's an amazing venue, and it's nerve-wracking, it's exciting, it's exhilarating, and the audience is often full of kind of development executives and producers and all sorts of people, so it's just an amazing kind of pitch opportunity.
Hey, I like to see what I'm doing.
Gina hits him squarely on the back of the head and he slumps to the floor unconscious. Gina cocks her gun. The driver's words echo in her mind.
Charlie says, no shooters.
It starts with the call for scripts, and we make sure that we make that call as wide as possible so everybody has an opportunity to submit their work. We then call together our script selection panel, which are made up of about 15 industry execs. We also include in that writers that have been featured in the past, because we really feel that they understand the process and also understand what it's like to be put on the stage. So we do have a few Cheryl Coles, shall we say, within the group.
The emphasis is on new writing. And it shouldn't be something that's absolutely perfect. It's something that sort of merits a development workout and being staged. We're just looking for really interesting pieces, either in terms of characterization, in terms of dialogue, something that has something sparky about it.
When we're looking for a script for Rocliffe, we always have to bear in mind that it's an unusual environment in that everything that's submitted is for the screen. And what we're trying to do is stage something in a kind of theatre, proscenium arch world.
And you're looking for scripts that you feel there are themes to discuss, and there are things that could be usefully discussed in this forum, and that the process would be useful for the writer. You know, you're kind of not looking for perfect scripts, because what would there be to say?
You get to see those people who perhaps don't yet have agents and wouldn't submit things through the normal channels, so it's a way of finding those people before other people do. There's
a few scripts that have actually either gone into production or are ready to go into production that have come out of Rocliffe. So it's somewhere that you can pick up on scripts and at an early stage and actually get them into development.
One of Rocliffe's major success stories has been a collaboration between one of our directors, Susie Jacobson, and James Dormer, who was one of our featured writers a few years ago, and they have collaborated on The Holding, which has gone into production and will hopefully be on our screens in 2011.
Rocliffe's been really good for me. I met Susie, and basically it was through Rocliffe that the whole film came about.
The extract he'd chosen had started with a cow birthing scene, which was unusual to see on stage, even in film, and then kind of introduced us into the characters through the whole trauma of trying to birth a calf. And James had written a little girl kind of reciting a nursery rhyme over the whole birth, which made it a very surreal kind of thing.
But I'd kind of written it in a kind of much smaller way than, because it was your suggestion to kind of have that over the whole thing, which worked really well, and oddly, well, perhaps not oddly, but ended up in the film, and works really, really well. It's one of the kind of really nice moments, I think.
The piece I'm directing tonight is The Summer of Our Lives. It's about 2 Indian girls from northern India who are looking for that hope and that dream. They're very interested in music, and they're hoping to come to London with a big dream.
And for me, Summer of Our Lives, my love letter to the city of London, because I came from such a small place in India and I always dreamed of coming to London. And the first place we stayed was East London, like somewhere really in Plaistow. And that was not a London we kind of, so I said, where have we come? And he's like, should we go back? But then we took a ride into town, and I remember standing on that bridge and just looking across the wide, expanse of the beautiful city. And I just said, I love this city. For me to sit there and watch the words come alive through professional actors with the director directing it, it's quite emotional, after years of when you put and you dream something.
You said you were going to stay and help me with the school. Why are you changing your mind? Did Nina talk you into this?
No, it's my decision. He can get us a deal.
And you trust him. You don't even know what he does.
But that's just the chance I'll have to take.
A lot happens on the day. All the actors meet with their directors and their writers for the first time as a company. They do about 3 read-throughs of the script, block it, and then an hour and a half later, they're performing it on stage at BAFTA. So it's a very rapid process.
Every event has this chair figure, and they're always someone with amazing kind of industry experience, and that is one of the real kind of incredible things about it.
We've had some great people in the past, John Madden, Elizabeth Carlson, Mike Newell, Debra Hayward. So these are really people that are at the top of their game, and we're really grateful to them for taking part.
To hear people who are kind of established in the industry reacting to scripts and stories and giving advice was really helpful.
Because you're kind of going, well, how's anybody going to really understand our film? Because all they've got is a 10-minute section, and then we stop. But the thing, the really nice thing was actually the chair then takes you through the story, and we talk about, oh right, so that's how this thing's going to play out. That's how that story will work.
This is the first time, and one of the only times, that a writer will get a person of this calibre to give them feedback about their work.
It is about readability, and it's about spinning a yarn. I thought what was so great about that was you did really get caught up in the story. And I thought the scene with the sister, just as a little observation, I think if you'd put that in a more domestic setting, you might not have had to be so expositional in the dialogue, if you put it back at their apartment as opposed to in a cafe or a bar. I thought that might have lent a bit of, sort of free characterisation. So I found that a little bit melodramatic, that scene. Although, again, in keeping with the sort of noirishness of it, I thought it was great.
Getting feedback from the Rocliffe Q&A is probably quite scary for a writer, but it's a very necessary process. You've written your script normally in isolation, and then you have to hear feedback because your script is going to be ultimately for an audience, and you need to, when you're writing it, or at some point, bear the audience in mind.
Writing is meant to be read, and in the case of film writing, it's meant to be performed, it's meant to be turned into a visual medium.
The industry comes because these are unsolicited scripts. This is talent that nobody has found through agents. These are people who are sitting at home writing, and they can submit to Rocliffe, and their work can be shown in the Rocliffe Forum. And what's great for the industry is they can find new talent there.
Taking part in Rocliffe did boost my confidence, got me lots of contacts, but essentially it sort of moved my career forward by giving me an agent, so it sort of launched my career. So it really was quite a big impact on me as a writer.
There are a lot of very important people here who come and see the Rocliffe, and when the evening was over, all I wanted to do was have a drink and chat and talk to my friends who'd come, and it was lovely. And as soon as I got into the bar, they all went, no, talk to people. And they were quite right, of course, because when else would you get an opportunity like that?
I would say it's probably quite unlikely that a definite script that you write will get commissioned straight away and that thing will appear on screen or on wherever. But it's just about making connections as part of your development, really.
Actors have been coming up, I suppose, because it was a piece about actors, so they feel the need to come up and tell you, well, I know what it was about, and directors, and luckily I've had a few TV people and a few agents come up and tell me to get in touch.
Well, I think you can see from the people behind me, there's a lot of people who never met before who are talking to each other, and they've just met tonight, and it's the discussion that these scripts generate that have created all this.
I read the scripts before I came to actually talk here this evening, and it is amazing when you see real professional actors how they can bring a script to life, and I think it's invaluable for the writers.
What does the future hold for Rocliffe? I hope a lot more success stories. That's what I want to hear from it. I want to hear that a lot more collaborations come out of it, and people remember their roots and they come back to the actors that have performed in the scripts, our casting directors, our art designers, our composers, the directors that they've met, just to keep that sort of network going and building from there.
The future's very bright. We've taken the event on the road. We'd like to take it to more places in the UK and to find some new writing talent outside the capital. We'd also very much like to take it to the States and work with our offices in LA and New York to tap into the talent out there.